Hey everyone, Jason with Phase Shift Games, and I'm going to show you how to play Tavern Tales tonight. So please keep in mind as you're watching this video, everything that you see here is very early prototype artwork. I'll try to splash up some examples of the actual artwork in the final game. It's looking amazing, but what you see here is super early. There's a lot of sketch art. There's frankly just a lot of free art that we grabbed temporarily. So please keep that in mind as you're watching. But let's tell you about Tavern Tales. Essentially, we have spelunked in the dungeon. You see all the artwork from Dungeon Drop around us. This game is in that universe. The heroes have gone into the dungeon. They've grabbed all the loot. They've killed all the monsters. They're coming back to town, and they're ready for some ginger brew and raucousy evening with their friends, telling the tales of all the heroic deeds that they performed in the dungeon. So they're going to be sitting around a table, drinking, telling all these heroic tales, and boasting and bragging and trying to one-up each other. And that's the whole point of this game. So what we have there's a deck of feats and a deck of heroes. Everyone's going to get 6 heroes at the start of the game, and they're going to get to choose 4 of those. To choose. By the way, I'm showing you the basic game. There's some more advanced stuff. I'll explain it really quick at the end. So you get a hand of 6 heroes, and you choose 4 of them to keep. So what you're going to be looking for are heroes that maybe synergize a little bit, that are able to tell the tales of certain locations in the dungeon. Because what happens, in the center of the table, there's 5 locations, and each of these 5 locations have different treasure and monster kills in front of it. Those are the feat cards. So, for example, we have the spawning pools here, and there are 3 feat cards in front of the spawning pools. That's a blue gem, a gold, and a pink gem. You'll recognize those treasures are from Dungeon Drop, right? So the whole point is that you're going to say at some point, yeah, I went to the spawning pools with the dwarf, and I came out with a pink gem and a blue gem. That's just an example. We'll get to that a little bit in just a little bit. Okay, so you choose 4 cards from the 6. You discard the other 2. So this is a 3-player game. I've got Daryl here. This is me, and this is Legolas. So we've each chosen our hands. Of course, they'd be secret. This is in your hand. You don't show anyone. We all have a scorecard and a scoring token. Nice and simple. It's a 2-sided, or at least this version is. I think the final version will all be on one side. Something else will be on the other side. But basically, once you get to 15 points, you flip it. And at that point, your hand size is 1 less. So our hand size is 4 at the start of the game. When you flip it from points 16 to 30, your hand size is only 3. So you have 1 less card. And then first player token, I'll just say it's me. And then for each of these 5 locations, they each get 3 feats. The feats, again, are treasure. Here's a treasure chest. There's also monster kills in the feats. So, for example, you'll see goblin kills. Actually, here's the dragon kill. This is Draglin, and there's only 1 of these in the whole deck, so that one's worth 5 points. What you're trying to do, this is a set collection game. There's a little bluffing, a little push your luck. It's set collection at the core, though. So what you want is to try to get sets of these treasure and monster kills. So, for example, this treasure chest here, there's a line of numbers at the top. And what it's basically saying is the first time you get a treasure chest, it's only worth 1 point. But if you get a second treasure chest, that's worth 6 points. Then the third one that you get in this case is only 1 point again. If you recall from Dungeon Drop, treasure chests are very random because you're rolling a die. So this kind of mimics that. So the fourth one that you get would be worth 9 points. So it's kind of up and down. The clear gems are very steady. First one's worth 2, second one's worth 4, then 6, then 8, then 10. So it just ramps up. So the more you get of this, the better. And so on. You'll see as we go how they all play out. All the monster kills are just a straight number of points. So Draglin, if you claim to kill Draglin and no one disputes you, you get 5 points for that. So there's no set in that case. It's just straight up points. Okay, so how it works is simple. On your turn, you have 2 choices. Number 1, if you're below your hand size, you can choose to draw more heroes. We're all starting with full hands, so we can't even do that. And then number 2 is you make a claim. So we're gonna mock this out really quick. So we got 5 locations. There's the ice camp, the prison, the sanctum, the glade, and the spawning pools. Those location names are going to change, by the way, but that's just what they are in this example. So you have two different types of heroes. Some heroes have only one location that they represent. So the dwarf here can only go claim that he did something in the sanctum, whereas the Isham can claim to have done something in both the ice camp and the glade. So the ones with only one, those are considered specialists. They can only claim something that one location, but they can claim 2 treasure from that location. Whereas the Isham here is an adventurer with 2 locations, and she can only choose 1 from either of those locations. So that's the trade-off there. So I'm going to start this claim. I'm going to say I was in the sanctum with the dwarf, and I came away with a pink gem and a clear gem. So I kind of pulled those down from the sanctum, and I've played that card. So now what happens is all the other people at the table get to decide, are they going to try to dispute my claim, or are they going to let me walk away with these? Right now it would only be 3 points, 2 for the clear gem, 1 for the pink gem. I would only get 3 points, but later on I would get a lot more if I could get more of those. So my neighbor over here so Daryl, he does have another character who also has sanctum, so he can play this and say, oh, no, that was me with the Draglinkin. I'm the one that did that. We're going to just go quick with some turn examples here. So we're going to say right now that he doesn't play anything. He's going to try to hold that card back, and you'll see why in a second. So Daryl passed. So now it goes to Legolas. Is Legolas going to chime in? And Legolas says, yeah, I was with the half-orc in the sanctum. That was me. So now that player is the last player to play a card. Mine is basically null and void. I now have to, so it comes back to me. I have to look in my hand and see, can I continue my claim? Or I can pass. So I'm going to say, well, I pass now. Now it comes back to Daryl. Daryl passed the first time, but now he says, oh no, actually guys, you're both wrong. Yeah. I just wanted to see what was up here, but it was me with the Draglinkin. And so he comes in. Now this one's null and void. And then it comes back around until everyone passes except the last player to play a card. So in this case, it was Daryl. These cards get discarded. That gets discarded. Daryl walks away with a pink gem and a clear gem, and he got 3 points. And that was my turn. Now it passes to Daryl. Now Daryl only has a hand of 3 cards. I have a hand of 3. And so we've all spent 1 card. Legolas has a hand of 3. So now he has to decide, do I want to draw some more heroes? Basically, you draw 3 and then discard 1 of those 3, and then down to your hand size if you have too many. But he says, oh no, I'm going to claim I was in the pools with the fairy, and he's got pink gems already, right? So he wants another pink gem. He's like, I was in the pools with the fairy, and we were digging out some pink gems and a blue gem. And so, over to Legolas. Legolas has 2 cards with spawning pools. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to go in on this one. So it says, oh, no. The Boblin was working with me on that job. And then it comes to me, and I say, well, guys, I wasn't there. I pass. Then back over here, and he says, oh, no, guys, I'm telling you, Wood Elf backing me up here. And it goes back to Legolas. Legolas is like, oh no, Boblin was very serious when he said it was me. I pass. Daryl has no more cards that he can claim. So this time, Legolas got the treasure. So he takes the pink gem and the blue gem. Now, I mentioned the hand size because this is kind of a key part of the game is you want to constantly be aware of how many cards are left in people's hands. Cards are valuable in this. I now have 3 cards left. These guys only have 1 left. When it comes back around to my turn, that's important knowledge because I can look and say, well, I have 2 cards that match with the ice camp. Is there something valuable there for me or not? I make that decision. And if I'm going to go in, I know that no one else could possibly play 2 cards. So I've kind of got a sure thing there. Of course, with the advanced game, there could be some special things going on. Whereas these guys, they would have to make an even more difficult decision when it comes to their turn. So it is now, right? It's Legolas's turn. He's got 1 card. He can go into the prison or the ice camp and claim one of those. There is a blue gem there, which he wants, but he's only got 1 card. I have 3. He's like, am I going to risk that? And let's say he does. So let's say he says, I was with the gnome in the ice camp, and we were going after this blue gem. There's only one there. He can only do one with the adventurer. So then it comes to me. Now, if I don't have that card, I can't play it anyway. I might also want to pass if I want to save my cards, because I like having 3 cards. When it comes around to my turn, I might want to control where I'm going to go and have that edge. So you can see how some of those dynamics will play out. The other thing that you're going to start to consider in this game is, how much is it worth if I take that claim versus how much will they get if I let them take it? So in other words, for me, it might only be 1 point or 2 points because I don't have that set that I'm going for. But for my neighbor, if I let him take it, he's going to get 7 points. I'm preventing him from being able to take 7 points. So those are some of the unique things going on in the game. After a claim, basically the locations get replenished from the deck of feats. And you keep going around and around until somebody gets to 30 points. It ramps up very fast. Because what happens at the beginning, you're only getting these little onesie-twosies because the early stages of most of these feats are only 1 or 2 or 3 points. But as you saw, they ramp up quick. Consumables, if you start going for the consumables set, it's got kind of a roller coaster effect, I guess. So at the beginning, it's only worth 1, then it goes up to 3, then 6, then 10. So basically it's saying like all those armor and health potions and magic shields, they're really valuable, but then they start to trail off. You're telling stories about how you got this cool magic shield. People are like, yeah, that's awesome. And then I got the armor and I slayed the dragon. Yeah, that's really cool. After a while, you start talking about getting armor and health potions and people are like, done with that. So that's why it kind of tapers off at the end, whereas the gems just keep going up and up and up. And treasure chests are all over the place, and there's some other stuff in there. So let's talk about some of the advanced things. Oh, and remember, when you flip your card and you go to the other side, once you have 16 points or more, now you only get a hand size of 3. So you have less options in your hand. Other players might have more, and it's this really cool effect towards the end game. But of course, everyone's going to be ramping up to that at some point. So really fast, really simple. Everyone's playing all the time. You got some subtle bluffing, a little push your luck with, am I going to go in and waste the card, or am I going to wait and see how many people are in? The game goes from 3 to 5 players, so it goes up to a nice player count. It's got that central set collection, which is really cool. You want to, get to that point where you either complete a set. And by the way, if you complete any set, that's an instant win. Because if you add up all the numbers, that's 30 or more in every one of the treasure sets. I think every one. And that's intentional. So yeah, that is Tavern Tales. And again, sorry for the prototype art. Much more to come. Really cool effects and abilities and ideas that we have in the works. Some great upgrades, physical components. So we'll hopefully see you at the campaign. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.